Just this past week, the 14th Asagba of Asaba, His Royal Majesty, Obi Professor Epiphany Azinge, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, celebrated his 70th birthday, as well as 1 year on the throne. Before his enthronement in November last year, the respected royal father had served as Director General of the Nigerian Institute of Advanced Legal Studies and one of the best brains in advancing Nigerian laws and jurisprudence. He joins us now to share his joy at those two important milestones, as well as share his thoughts on how Nigeria can be safely navigated through the myriad problems facing it at the moment.
Good morning.
Good morning, Your Majesty.
Good morning. Good morning.
Thank you very much for joining us on the morning show.
Good morning.
And congratulations on reaching these twin milestones, your 70th birthday and 1 year on the throne. Now, how would you describe this past year, and what has surprised you the most about transitioning from academia to traditional leadership?
Well, for me, it has been quite an instructive journey in the last 1 year. Like you rightly pointed out, transiting from the academia to traditional rulership is certainly not an easy ride. And definitely one is not mentored or tutored for that as far as Asaba tradition is concerned. And there is no predecessor in office to even assist, direct, or guide you as the case may be. So you jump into the saddle as a novice, and the rest is for you to direct, determine, and navigate as appropriate. I will say with a little bit of satisfaction, without sounding immodest, that I've tried to adjust to the best of my ability, and I believe to the satisfaction of my people, and even the people of Delta State in general, as the case may be. We've tried to locate the major issues that ordinarily should confront a traditional ruler. One is ensuring that the peace reigns in your environment. Two is to address challenging issues of conflict resolution and trying as much as possible to mainstream gender, which is very, very difficult in the traditional arena. And then more significantly also is to engage with the government of the day to see how you can help in attracting developmental projects to your area in terms of road facilities, in terms of energy power, amongst so many others. I believe that with the support of the Asaba people, we've been able to navigate this to a very large extent successfully, and the years ahead will still unfold, and we look forward with a lot of hope to the future.
All right, Your Majesty, thank you for starting the conversation on a very positive, great note. And I do congratulate you again on your 70th birthday and first year on the throne. Two questions, Your Majesty. First will be to talk to us about what it means in the equation of things in Delta State to be the royal father of the capital city. Asaba is such an important city, not just in the Niger Delta area, but in the entire country. How has it been, working with the government functionaries, working with different stakeholders to make that city a true capital city? The other part of the question, sir, will be to have your thoughts on a subject matter that you are very much interested in, the sort of reforms that you think that traditional institutions in Nigeria requires at this time. I know that you have been involved in one or two reform projects in the past. As it concerns traditional institutions and the monarchy in Nigeria, what sort of reforms will you be advocating, and in which area do you think that change is required?
Thank you very much, and thank you once more. Well, to the first question, Asaba is strategic, not just as a capital city of Delta, but also because of its location by the banks of the Niger and separating Anambra State and Delta State. To that extent, the issue of security is paramount in our minds. We try as much as possible to ensure that some of the challenges of other neighboring states not ordinarily are not allowed to filter into Asaba as a border town. And then secondly, we also believe that peace should be our main industry, because as I say repeatedly, and I stand to be challenged, that Asaba today is the fastest growing state capital, not just in Nigeria, but in Africa south of the Sahara. To that extent, the level of investment attracted to Asaba because of the peaceful terrain is indescribable, to say the least. And we have also leveraged on that, and working in synergy with the government of the day, we have tried to a very large extent to anchor on the apparatus for maintaining peace and order in our environment. We have our local vigilante groups, amongst others, supporting the government machinery and the security agencies. And together, they've been able to ensure that truly peace reigns. I can tell you without equivocation that we don't have incidences of kidnapping in Asaba, and so on and so forth. Yes, there are some particles of crime and criminality that rears ugly head. We have incidences of yahoo, maybe drug peddling and drug addiction, but certainly nothing to worry so much. We've been able to nip most of this in the bud. And to that extent, we work in synergy with the government. And to that extent also, we've been able to use that as a vehicle of attracting infrastructural development to our people. And that certainly is something to be proud of. Light used to be a challenge to us, but recently the government awarded a contract of IPP that will certainly light up the whole of Asaba. It will help to bring in more investment. Industries can now leverage on that, and we are happy that that can also lead to high employment opportunities to our people. Asaba is basically a youthful population of about 70%. The aging population is about 30%. So to a very large extent, we need employment for our youths, and whatever that can attract employment opportunities to our people, we don't joke with that. So to that extent, we are working in harmony with the government of the day, and things seem to be flowing very well. Well, to your second question, the issue of the reforms that I try to suggest or propose, as the case may be, certainly the major one for me is the issue of trying to mainstream and ensure that traditional institution is recognized in the Constitution. It has always been the case in the early post-colonial era, and even up to 1979 Constitution. To a very large extent, it was also incorporated one way or the other. But we believe that it's an idea whose time has come. We have to do it, and we are pushing towards that. We are supporting the bill proposed by Senator Lalong, former governor of Plateau State, along that line. And we believe that if we look around us, South Africa, Namibia, Ghana, amongst other places, that is the norm. And I believe that it will go a long way to help the traditional institution to stabilize. So I am particularly interested in that, and I'm pushing for that. Well, it is not in any way an attempt to upstage what we have at the moment, the tiers of government, whether federal, state, or local government. No, we are not in competition with any, and we're not trying to challenge any. But we only feel that the recognition that comes with entrenchment into the Constitution will be second to none. It will help to stabilize the position of the traditional institution in our domain. And by the time the bill receives presidential assent, hopefully, I believe that the details will be made known to Nigerians, and they will see that it is something that definitely will be beneficial, not just to the traditional institution, but to the whole administrative segment of the country. So I am still seriously involved in that reform process.
Thank you, Your Royal Highness. Now, something that you've been a part of is the flagging off of a museum for Asaba. I believe that happened in September. Speaking about entrenchment of our culture and also possibly separation from, the royal fathers and the local government or the state government, I want to ask how important this museum is to you. We've seen what's going on in Edo State with the controversy around Moa, or a museum for the royal father, the Oba of Benin. So for you in Asaba, how important is this museum? And when we're speaking about entrenchment of our culture and bringing our culture to the future, how important are these institutions?
Well, any traditional ruler will understand that as a custodian of the culture and the traditions of a people, certainly you draw a lot of strength and inspiration from your past. And so also your people do. To that extent, museum in any respect or in any form whatsoever is a very, very critical instrument in driving the traditional institution and the traditions of a people. So definitely we welcome museum that will house the relics of the past, a museum that will tell stories about our ancestors, a museum that will tell stories about our tradition, our way of life, the dance, the basic institutions that we have. Also help us depict the way and manner we live, how we marry, how we bury. All those relics are very, very critical. And these are these that we think we house in museum. The traditions vary to a large extent. The way and manner the Benins have progressed are not exactly the way and manner that we have progressed in Asaba. So we believe that when we set up a museum and put some of the relics and other things that we feel that our children will love to see and that will tell them the story of their past and where they're coming from, I wouldn't see it to be a controversial issue of any type. Rather, it will be something that people will be interested in approaching and visiting to know more about the history of the people of Asaba, where we came from, and how we have lived for centuries now. I believe that we are making meaningful progress. Our people are fully supportive, and we have consultants that are directing us, and we started putting together the artifacts and other things that certainly will be the components of the museum. And I believe it's something to look forward to, and we are very happy that we're making meaningful progress in that regard.
Thank you for that. Now, Your Majesty, the National Assembly has approved the creation of a new state in the southeast, which would bring the region's total to 6 states at par with other geopolitical zones. Now, the quest for Anyoma State has been ongoing for decades. In August, you declared your support for Senator Ned Nwoko's advocacy for the creation of Anyoma State from Delta State. Now, can you explain the historical and cultural justification for this proposed state, and what specific benefits do you believe Anyoma State will bring to the Anyoma people and, the broader Nigerian Federation? Now, because of time, I'd like to ask another question. First is about the Anyoma State. And secondly, Delta State receives one of the highest federal allocations in Nigeria due to, its significant oil and gas contributions to, the national economy as a whole. Yet, despite these resources, many communities in the state still lack, the basic infrastructure, lack of electricity, especially in Ndokwa. You mentioned that the government has, awarded a contract to set up an IPP in Asaba. The young people in Ndokwa are requesting the same. There's also, the lack of healthcare, potable water. Now, as a respected voice in that region, what is your honest assessment of Delta State's development trajectory? And why do you think the state's, with this enormous wealth has not translated into this commensurate development that we seek? As I speak to you, the Ndukwa nation remains in darkness for about, 16 or 20 years, and the young people are asking for that IPP step down to be installed in that region. The government has promised that they're awarded some contract. I'd like your honest assessment, first on, the issue of the Anoma State, and then what, the government has done so far with infrastructure development in Delta State.
Well, thank you very much. The Anoma State issue is one that I am not too comfortable discussing. Historically, certainly it has been something our people have clamored for repeatedly, and understandably so. But I have my reservations, to be honest. Truth be told, I've been the technical committee chairman for the quest for Anoma State. But I've made my position known clearly that I am for Anoma in Anoma, and that means Anoma within the geographical spread of the 9 local governments that constitute Delta North. I have never been supportive of Anoma that transcends the boundary of Delta State, and that remains my position. I wouldn't want to say more so that it wouldn't lead to unnecessary controversy, but let that be known to be my position, which I've harbored for a very long time, and that is known to everybody. It may be personal to me. I'm not speaking as the Asaba of Asaba in that regard, but let it be known that I support Anoma State, but I have my reservations about Anoma that transgresses and pushes to the southeast, as the case may be. And I have my reservations, and I have my reasons for that, but I'm not prepared to go into that debate at this point in time. Secondly is that as far as Delta State is concerned, we must not just look at the allocations coming to Delta State. We must also look at Delta State as a state. I begin to wonder if there is any other state that can compare with Delta State in terms of the cities and the places yearning for development one way or the other. Delta State is not like a one city state. No. You have Warri, you have Sapele, you have Ughelli, you have Abraka, and you are still counting. And then you have in the Delta North, you have Asaba, you have Abo, you have so many of them. Any government that takes care of all these numerous cities with the limited resources available is doing exceptionally well. And we must record that accordingly. So, yes, it will take a while to spread, but yeah, there are so many places to spread it to. It's not like a one city state that we have all over the place. It's not even like Lagos. It's not like Rivers, among so many. Asaba alone can compare with any other. Talk less Warri, talk less Ughelli, talk less Sapele, among so many others. And we're not talking about Warri on its own, amongst other areas. I believe that from my own little research, the government of Delta State, presently, and even before now, they've done well in trying to spread resources to all these places. In the wild land, yes, a little bit of neglect here and there, but it's quite a big area to be taken care of. And definitely I will add my voice that something can be done. But let's face it, not just a week ago, The Kwale area was declared an industrial hub. That obviously is no mean feat. It's going to attract a lot of facilities to that place, a lot of investment, and of course create a lot of job opportunities to the people of that area. It is not a neglected area by any estimation. Not much has been done, no doubt, but I believe that the focus of government is now shifting to that area, and I am confident that a lot of resources will be injected into that area in the shortest possible time. But let us underscore the point I made, that Delta is not a one-city state, and to that extent, the government must be careful the way and manner they manage the resources and the way and manner they spread resources so that every part of the state will be satisfied at the same time.
All right. On that note, Your Royal Majesty would like to thank you very much for joining us on the morning show this morning. Thank you very much indeed.